walking through the Cloud Partner Navigator overview and the demo to enable the vRealize suite, vRealize Cloud Universal as a service for cloud service providers or MSPs. Before I go into the details, I would just cover what is the overview of Cloud Partner Navigator. How do you log in to Cloud Partner Navigator or CPN? How would you get the service access and provisioning? How would you manage the customer and tenant within the CPN? And then how would you look at the configurator and create subscription and maintain the life cycle of the subscription for your tenants as a cloud service providers? So Cloud Partner Navigator streamlines MSP operations. So it is a centralized portal that will help you to publish, subscribe, control service lifecycle. It has end-to-end tenant lifecycle management where you can, so it's a one-stop portal where you can onboard, provision, manage services for tenant. You can as well simplify the tenant onboarding and just add them by inviting them to use that tenant or the MSP, or can be outsourced to the tenant himself. You have automatic service activation emails that gets triggered seamlessly to the users and to the provider admins as well as the customers as defined by the MSP himself. You have optimized support ticketing processes where you can raise support requests for the L3 to L5 support that you need for your end customers. It is an extended platform to support multiple services, all cloud services basically. In a centralized, extensible portal to support multiple SaaS offerings. It has granular and aggregated usage information. You can have the commit contract view, you can have the billing order view as well. That is getting charged from Commerce Portal, and you can have inheritance of the roles that can be inherited from the earlier permissions of a user to the new permissions of the user into a next org if you want to add the same user to it. So you have identity pieces in it, you have support pieces in it, you have usage and billing, you have the entire management of the tenant, and it is easy to operate as well. How to log in to Cloud Partner Navigator as a cloud provider. So once you log in to Partner Connect, in the subscription services of Partner Connect, you will have a button which says Access Cloud Partner Navigator, or you can as well click on resources link and you can see Cloud Partner Navigator as a partner or as a reseller available over there. Alternatively, you can directly type in console.cloud.vmware.com and you can log in using your partner portal credentials directly into CPN. So I will show you the demo once you log in to Cloud Service Navigator. So this is the homepage or the dashboard that we call. You have the left side navigation with different options. The dashboard will give you what services you have access to, what are the customers you have access to, any endpoint that you have, any SDVCs that gets deployed across the world in different data centers. Those are all can be viewed on the dashboard. The customer details and service details also you can see over here. Okay. And the services tab is where you would see the list of services you have access to. So there will be two sections. One, services provisioned for you, which means the services you already have access to as a cloud service provider, and you can use them. Or you have a second section which says services available for provisioning. So these are the services that are available for you to be able to provision and start using the service and provide access to your end customers. Now, you will see the tiles here under the services available for provisioning in 3 different use cases. Use case 1 is when you sign a commit contract with VMware. That's when you see it. So in this example, we have a commit contract for vRealize Cloud Subscription Manager. So that's why you see this service. You also see other services, even though you do not have commit contracts. These are free services that are available as a cloud provider, and you can leverage them as well. So if you want to see the commit contracts that are tied under the subscriptions tab, you can click on commit contract and you can see all the commit contracts that are associated. And in this case, we have only one commit contract, which is vRealize Cloud Subscription Manager. It is valid. It's a level 2 plan. It is valid till November 26, 2023. Okay. So because you already have a commit contract for vRealize Subscription Manager, the service of vRealize Subscription Manager is available for provisioning. Now, in order to provision it, you just have to click on the provision service. So we'll click on provision service. It will show which commit contract. If you have more than one commit contract for the same service, you can select which commit contract you want to use. In this example, we have only one commit contract, so that's what you see. And then we see that the commit contract is commercial, it's USD, and this is the email address of the service provider. So we click on confirm, and then the status of this service will be changed from pending provisioning to provision. So now that tile will be enabled under the section services provision for you. As you can see, the tile is now here, services provision for you. You can launch the service. And again, in case of multiple commit contracts, you can manage the service. Okay. So now, as a cloud provider or a cloud service provider, you have access to this. Let's see now, moving ahead, how you can provide this access to your end customers. So we go to customer management, and we already have a customer here. I've defined a test customer called Residence Inn. So you can click on the test customer, and it will say you do not have any services at the moment. You can mention provision service. It will take you to that customer organization, and we will do the same in the customer organization. So in the customer organization as well, you will have sections, services provision for you and services available for provisioning. So we will do the same action of provision service under the services provision for you, and it will become the service available for provisioning. So now this vRealize Subscription Manager is available for this end customer Residence Inn to use. Okay, so you can default, you can manage the customer access. So you can add another customer, you can grant customer access of service manager or the user or admin or all. So you can completely access what the customer can have access to in this particular service type. Okay, so I'll provide all access to the customer, so customer can manage it on themselves for this service. Okay. Going back to the parent org, going back to the MSP org, now we are moving back from the tenant org to the MSP org. I will also show you now how you can create a new customer, because we have chosen an existing customer for now. I will also show you how do you create a new customer. So if you want to onboard a second customer, you just have to click on add customer and provide a name. So I'll just pick a name for the customer. I'll have to give the domain for the customer that will be used, address of the customer, any tag that you can give. So you have helpful text here. So it's a unique identifier that you want to identify it against the customer. You can provide an admin contact of the customer. You can define whether it is an internal org for the provider or it's an end customer, actual end customer, right? So all these things can be provided. I'm just providing an address. Of the customer. This address is validated, and it will prompt you if this is the address you want to use, and you can click on save. So the customer is created. And as you can see, if I click on the two customers for Residence Inn, we enabled vRealize Cloud Subscription Manager. For Strata, we haven't enabled any service, but we can do that the same way as well. So you can click on Strata, you will see that no services are provisioned. You can either click on switch to customer or you can click on provision service, and you can provision the same service to that to this customer as well. I will do that in a moment. Before that, I will go to the next step. So for the configurator, you will have to click on the left nav for configuration, and by default, you will see the service that are available for you to configure. So in this example, because you have access only, so in the services tab, you have access only to vRealize Cloud Subscription Manager. So that's why configurator is only showing that service. You can click on create. You have to select which end customer you want to create a new subscription for. Again, we only show here Residence Inn because Residence Inn is the only customer which is have access to this particular service. If both the tenants have access to the service, you will see both the tenant names here. So you can click on Residence In, click on Next, and then it will show you the list of offers available. So this is Cloud Universal Advanced Edition, is Cloud Universal Enterprise Edition, Cloud Universal Standard Edition. I will select Advanced Edition and I will select 100 quantity, prepaid, 12 months, save of core is my unit, right? So that's the base offer. If there are any add-on offers available, it will come here. But in this example, there are no add-on offers available. So we'll just go to next. In the next screen, we will basically see the list price that would be charged for this particular subscription. We will also see the commit contract against which this subscription is being redeemed, so that the billing happens against the commit contract. So we have the price. The list price is $259 because we have 100 quantities, $25,900. The pricing date is today. We acknowledge. You have to accept the acknowledgement in order to place subscription. And then you can see that it's commit contract ID. It's prepaid USD for 12 months, right? So once you click on create subscription, you can create a subscription, and then in the back end, it will create a subscription ID for the tenant Residence in this example of 100 quantities for the SaaS offer, which is VMware vRealize Cloud Universal Advanced. Okay. So in the backend, it will create the subscription, it will link it to the commit contract. The subscription will have an ID starting with M, and there's a message that the subscription has been successfully created. You can see subscription status. The subscription status will come in the subscription tab here. In a moment, we will see the ID starting with M, and then we can see the status as pending provisioning. Then it becomes active. And then we will see what happens next in a moment. So in the background, there will be a subscription created. You can see it in the subscription screen. It will change from status submitted to pending provisioning to active. This is the subscription ID. Starting with M, its status is active. It is tied to this commit contract. And the display, it will show you which tenant it belongs to, what is the renewal preference. In this case, it is auto. If you want a manual renewal, you can click on change and do the manual renewal change. If you don't want auto renewal change, you can see the term commitment, that it is VMware Cloud Universal Advanced. That is the offer that was selected of quantity. You can see the price point, and you can see the history that the initial order was placed, subscription status was changed, etc. Now, because the purchase included VMware vRealize Cloud Universal Advanced Edition for core, they will have some additional services that will be enabled for the tenant. Okay, so going back to the customer management, when we click on Residence In, we can see that earlier we only had VMware Cloud Subscription Manager, but now you can see that we also have VMware vRealize Login Site, VMware Service Broker, VMware ARIA, Operations, and Cloud Assembly. So these services automatically are enabled because you have purchased an advanced version of the vRealize suite. So you can click on Residence In, switch to customer organization, and when we go there in the list of services, you would see that more tiles are enabled in the background based on the subscription purchase that happened. Right? Here. So you have VMware Subscription Manager, which is the tile that we enabled. And because of the purchase, you also have Login Site, VMware Broker, Cloud Assembly, and ARIA Operations. So all of these services are automatically enabled based on the purchase of the subscription that was done as part of the process. Now, you can manage the subscription lifecycle using the configurator itself. Like you can purchase more quantity of the same service, etc., and so on and so forth. Then you can renew as well using the same configuration once the 12 months term is completed. The sub-services that we have seen are only enabled for the tenant org. So in the provider org that we are right now, we only have the vRealize Cloud Subscription Manager enabled because the subscription is specific to the tenant. Okay. I'll quickly show you the subscription details again. So because this subscription is tied to the tenant of Residence Inn, the other tiles that are enabled are for that tenant only, not for the provider, not for any other tenant. So in the customer management, if I go, I can see the different services that are enabled for that tenant only. And if I click on Strata, I will say that no endpoint or services enabled for this. So we can replicate the same process for Strata as well. We can go to Strata and enable the service of vRealize Cloud Universal, and then we can come and create a subscription, and then the child tiles will be enabled for that tenant as well. Okay. Yeah, I think if there is any usages that are there, that usages can be viewed using this usage and commerce portal. You can have the selection of the org, which tenant I want to check the usage. I can check the billing period and click on view. And if there are any usages that are available, it will come here. There are no usages currently available for these products. So we'll not have any usages as such available here. Developer Center is where you can plug in through the API framework. So all the capabilities that we have, creation of customer management, enabling the service, all of those things are also available through APIs. So in the cloud provider, in the available APIs, you can as well come view the subscription data. You can manage the life cycle of a tenant. You can create a new tenant. You can maintain the tenant. You can deactivate. You can get the services and all of those things. So you can manage most of the things that I have shown today through the APIs as well. So feel free to explore the APIs that we provide. And support center is where you can raise a support request. You can create a new support request. You can mention the support request is for the provider or for a tenant, and what category it is, when which service you want to raise the support request against, to provide a few words. And you can as well provide the details of the links that you have referred already in the KB article, in the knowledge base article. Thank you.